they share. They don't look
Yeah.
just a little bit because there might be
Over
words.
time,
Okay, that's enough.
I know I personally have had experiences in my life that I probably didn't share when I was younger because I felt like they were a little odd. Have you guys had some of those secret animal connections that you thought, maybe that's a little weird, I don't know if I want to tell anybody? You guys, yeah? So maybe they were talking to you, or you were just feeling something, or you knew something, or and how can you really necessarily correlate it to truth or not truth, or whatever, so you just kind of go like, well, I'm weird and you guys. And so I have had some of those too. And being a veterinarian, if you start to say you've had those experiences, they're like, do you want to go work it back? And I was a restaurant person before. I mean, I could always go back, but you know, it's not like accepted in the science community to have odd things happen. And the first time that I clearly experienced it with an animal was probably 2 or 3 years after I graduated from veterinary school. And I had a kitty that I was working on, and he'd been down for a couple of days, hadn't eaten for a couple of days, and his dad called and asked if I would work him up, and I found cancer all over his body. I called his dad and said, you know, he's pretty bad, I don't think he can recover from this, and he asked me to help euthanize him, and said he'd come by and say goodbye, but he said he didn't want to stay and be there. He said he wasn't comfortable being there. And so, I mean, I honored that. I like to honor what's best for people in these situations, but in this case, he came, I met him, and he came in the room and held his cat for a while, and we talked a little bit, and he said goodbye and left. And I walked him to the door, and when I went back into the exam room, I sat by the kitty, and I just, because I talk to all animals, whether they understand me or not, I just try to talk to them, and I said to this kitty, you know, your dad has left, but I'm going to help you pass because you have cancer all over your body, and he couldn't eat or move. And I honestly believe in my heart that I heard this cat yelling, no, no, I don't want to die here. I want to go home and die on my couch. And I'm like, what the heck? You know, I could still feel the goosebumps from it. I thought I was just going off the rocker, and I told the kitty, oh, I'm sorry, but your dad he can't do this. And I kept hearing this cat like, no, no, he was shouting this at me like, no. And I went out to the clinic and went to the door and looked to see if his car was still there, and he was gone. And I went back in, and I just felt like, in those days, this was a long time ago, 20 some years ago, that I had to follow this client's wishes. And I just told the cat, I'm really sorry. And this cat kept it up, like wouldn't stop telling me, I want to be on my couch. I want to go home. And I like carried him into the back treatment room in this busy hospital. I was just doing 1 day a week. I was a house call practice then, and a gal in town let me use Fridays for surgeries and procedures. Text people everywhere, and nobody could hear this cat but me. I'm like bawling and holding him, and I just felt awful, but I felt like I had to, and my technician helped me euthanize him. And I went home that night, and I couldn't let it go. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I just felt horrible. I felt like I had let this cat down, that this cat was asking me for help, and I wasn't giving this cat help. You know, we're trained to help the people, really, not the animal. I mean, we help the animals, but it's by people's wishes a lot. And so a lot of processing went through, and I did some prayer, meditation kind of thing, and I really heard these words in my head that told me, you know, you've been trained as a Western veterinarian, but I want you to be an animal advocate. And with that, you know, you do have the right to, if you feel animals have special wishes, to carry those wishes to the people and explain them. And so it was a different way of thinking than we were taught at school. And the next day I called the man that had the kitty and just asked him how he was doing and just kind of checked in. And I said, so what chance did your cat have his own couch? And he said he bought his house, and the cat and the couch came with the house.
Oh my God.
That these people before knew that this cat loved this house and this couch so much they couldn't part him with his couch in the house, and asked this man when he bought the house if he would keep the cat and the couch. So huge confirmation that I wasn't completely off my rocker. But still, you know, back then, like, do I go tell people? I didn't say it for long, but it changed me. It changed how I practiced. I started thinking more about what animals wanted. I started listening, and you can test, you and Sherry, you guys, I've talked and said, well, it just doesn't seem like this or that. Things, we get more of an open conversation. And the more that I began to listen to what I felt animals wanted, the better things worked. The cases resolved better, or we got to the bottom of it simpler, or maybe it wasn't going to be the best ending, but it probably was the most peaceful or loving ending because we were respectful of it.